Well, have you ever actually listened to a Rick Ross mixtape or album before? Oh, you have? Well, this is basically just another one. And I could sum it up like that, but that's not how I do, so let's do a review. That rhymed. I'm fire. Spitting those bars, son. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is my review for Rick Ross's newest mixtape, Black Dollar. Now, his last studio album, Hood Billionaire, wasn't received very well by most people, but I actually thought it was alright for what it is. I mean, you know what you're going to get from a Rick Ross project. Some great production and some basic, braggy, flossy bars sprinkled with pseudo gangsta tales. And really, that's pretty much the same thing that's happening with this mixtape. Rick Ross is just really one of the most boring rappers out there. I think he sounds alright as far as his voice, flow, and delivery go, but there's nothing there that really makes him stick out, and he doesn't stray from outside of his lane. He just brings the same old content, the same old type of shit, and I know a lot of rappers do that, but Rick Ross really stays in that lane. But he does have one of the best ears for beats in the business, if you ask me, and you can definitely hear that as you listen through this mixtape. The song Geechi Liberace is just so lavish that it'll make you want to put on a $5,000 robe and sip some expensive wine while you lean in the doorway. And the song Beautiful Lie is just so smooth with this really clean bass, it'll just automatically activate your playa mode. Now, both of these songs don't bring a whole lot to the table lyrically, but on Geechi Liberace, Rick Ross does kind of attack the real Freeway Rick Ross, and he calls him a snitch and says that he was telling on people in court and some other shit like that. I don't really follow all that, so you can fill me in on if that's true or if you've heard anything about that, because I don't know. As for Beautiful Lie, it features an alright verse from Wale, but nothing really exciting, and some great vocals throughout the song, as well as for a bridge. So I really liked both of these songs a lot, just because they were mellow and chillaxin'. No one says chillaxin' anymore. I also like the song Bel Air because it has some triumphant horn production and some Fresh Prince references, which you can't really be mad at. And the song Two Shots is cool too because it has a really cool late night creep vibe to it, and some great vocals from Kevin Cossum. As for the lyrics on Two Shots, Rick Ross is spitting about a girl who stopped returning his calls after spending some of his money, and apparently she just left him. So he does show a little bit of vulnerability here, but it's not really enough to make it an overly interesting track, and I doubt that the boss cares very much because of all these other songs that are just about bragging and all the hoes that he has. But like I alluded to earlier, Rick Ross is really on some of that typical shit. The song Money and Powder is just really dull and slow and boring to me, and the song Money Dance features The Dream, and it's just one of those wavy, money and bitches type of tracks. And for some reason it drags on for almost 8 minutes long, but there doesn't seem to be a reason for it to do that, because the beat isn't overly interesting, and I don't know, it's not an awful song, but 8 minutes of it, it wasn't really necessary to me. But back to Money and Powder right quick, I found it funny when Rick Ross spit that he's snatching lobsters out of the water. Because that's actually a pretty good talent if you can do that. Can you imagine Rick Ross just swimming through the water and just grabbing lobsters and pulling them up and not getting himself all pinched up to shit? That's impressive. I mean, it's not really that impressive, but at least Rick Ross does try to make some attempts at interesting content on this mixtape. The song Foreclosures deals with what can happen when you lose money and fall on hard times, and he also says that success is a priceless jewel. Or, it's actually a precious jewel. Excuse me. Priceless, precious, whatever. He's just saying it's some type of jewel, goddammit. Then, on Icon with Anthony Hamilton, Rick Ross tells us about his rise in the rap game, and We Gon' Make It is a hopeful and inspirational track for black people who are dealing with all kinds of shit, especially in the States these days with institutional racism, regular ass racism, stereotypes, police brutality, all that type of shit. So Rick Ross was being a little bit socially conscious on this mixtape. It's not a whole lot, especially since it's surrounded with braggadocious bars, but at least he's trying something. There's also Dead Rappers, which is a dedication to the deceased greats, so I thought that was an alright track too, just because he's paying homage to some of the legends that we lost, like Tupac, Biggie, Big L, Big Pun, and many others. Now, feature-wise, Meek Mill is on the song World's Finest, and this is a reworking of Jay-Z and Biggie's classic, Brooklyn's finest. I thought Meek actually had a great verse on this song, so it was nice to see him get a W for once, because lately he's been taking a lot of L's. In his verse, he raps about the struggle of coming from where he comes from, and then he gets on that typical braggy shit, just like his mentor Rick Ross, who was all over this track, talking slick with his dick. With his big dick, I'm sorry. How could I just say that? He's talking slick with his big dick, because that's important, and it's really important that I cleared that up. Meek is also featured on the song Turn You Back, along with Whole Slab and Geechi Man, but there's not too much to say about this track, and it's just about how friends and family will sometimes turn their back on you. So to wrap this review up, I give this mixtape a 3 out of 5. If you're completely bored and tired with Rick Ross, I don't think there's anything here that's going to make you excited to hear it, but if you can appreciate his average level consistency and the fact that he knows how to pick good beats, you're going to like a couple of these tracks. But there is a lot of filler, like the Future-assisted Take Advantage and the August Alsina-assisted She Wanna Fuck, both of which are just boring, thug love type of tracks. So that's just what I thought about this mixtape. Check it out for yourself and let me know what you guys think. And as usual, do all that other good YouTube and social media stuff, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.